Hi everyone, it's Dan. Thanks for checking out the page. Thanks for watching episode 4. I'm back home. Today was my very first session of radiation using the CyberKnife technique. For those of you who aren't familiar with CyberKnife, just Google image or image search, do whatever. Go to Google, type in CyberKnife mask. Hit search, look at the images, you'll see what it looks like. There's lots of different ones that you'll see, some that have openings for the eyes and the mouth. Mine looks like a hockey mask without an opening for the eyes, so it's just pretty solid all the way through with little holes on. In the last episode, I talked about the process of having it made, so it's kind of interesting because for those of you that know me, I've dabbled in the world of professional wrestling, and without giving too much away, I've worn a wrestling mask before, and wrestling masks are very form-fitting. They're very tight, and a lot of times people, when they wear wrestling masks, they have a hard time. Breathing and functioning with one of them on, because it's a different feeling. My years of wearing a wrestling mask actually made the process of having radiation through a CyberKnife mask made it a little more bearable. I kind of felt like I was wearing a wrestling mask the entire time, which is going to lead me to a story later on. But I want to talk about some very important people in my life. First off, I have a friend that I made on social media named Colleen, way over in New Jersey, all the way across the United States. And Colleen and I had connected through an Acoustic Neuroma support group on Facebook. And just by coincidence, we were both starting our series of 5 radiation sessions. She started hers today at about 2 p.m. New Jersey time, which would be 11 a.m. over here in California. And then tomorrow she's doing it once again around 2 p.m. or so. So I was thinking about her today at 11. And it's kind of interesting. After my session today, I'm riding home. My wife is driving me home, and I check in with Colleen, and she's about ready to check in with me and see how everything's going. So really proud of you, Colleen. I appreciate the support you've given me, and it's meant a lot to give you that support as well. So best wishes to you and your family. We got 1 down, 4 more to go. So you're my CyberKnife spirit warrior. So I need you strong. Okay, so good luck to you. A couple other people that I've had a chance to meet. I'm sitting here looking at my inbox. A woman by the name of Brittany, who actually I believe lives very close to me, and I got a friend request from her. And usually I don't have enough time to go through and add people, because I try not to go on Facebook too often, but I've been going on more recently, specifically to go to the Acoustic Neuroma support group. I noticed this person adding me, and we really didn't have any friends in common. And I'm just like, doesn't seem like a bot or anything like that. So I went on her page, and I noticed that there's photos of a young man coming out of the hospital with a bandage. And I, not to be too creepy, I started scrolling through her page, and I was fascinated by this. And little by little, I start seeing the scar from the surgery, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I believe it's her husband who just had surgery for an acoustic neuroma, and the rehabilitation that he's going through. And I guess today he had gone home, and so we connected and we talked for a little bit, and just said, hey, I looked through your page, I saw what you guys are going through, and definitely he's gone through a whole lot more than what I'm going through, and just said, after all said and done, it doesn't seem like we live too far apart. I'd love to meet the two of you, just to talk to you, and there's something very, very empowering about talking to people who've gone through what you're going through. And Brittany's husband has definitely gone through the ringer a whole lot worse than I have. But it'll be interesting I hope I do get a chance to meet them. And there's quite a number of people who we talk about the evils of Facebook and the evils of social media, and for the most part, a lot of times it's hard to go on Facebook because there's a lot of negativity out there, and people just want to bash and they want to. It's just like every day it's another witch hunt of some sort. But what I've been seeing is something really beautiful today. I posted something about something that happened at work, and I'll go into more detail on that in a bit. And people started, they started, well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out the best way to tell this story. The color gray and gray ribbons, are one of the meanings of that is brain tumor awareness. It's brain cancer awareness and also brain tumor awareness. And there's a couple of things. There's asthma awareness. So the gray ribbon has several meanings. But as far as ribbons go, that's my color. And it's Colleen's color, and it's Brittany's color, and it's Brittany's husband's color, and it's everyone else's color who's dealing with acoustic neuromas. And so I mentioned how people at my work were wearing gray, and people started posting comments on Facebook of them wearing gray. Either they were already wearing gray or they went and changed into gray. I had a friend hold up a picture of their gray cat. And that was to each and every one of you who did that. And I hope you get to see this video. Just thank you so much. That meant a lot to me. I'm very blessed by the number of friends that I have who show me support, and a number of acquaintances who've shown me support. I've got people who I've never, we've been Facebook friends for years and years. We've never really met. They just added me on Facebook, because they're either fans of one of my bands or they're fans of the Beyond Geek TV show or whatever. And but they've just the support has just definitely been something that I'm taking with me and I'm keeping with me. And I took that with me today to my first session. I've been thinking long and hard about what happened at work today. And I'm hoping my coworkers are sitting through this video, and I hope they're watching this. So I've been very selective as far as, letting, in case you don't know, I'm an elementary school teacher. I didn't really want to let my kids know what was going on. I didn't want to let the parent community know what's going on. As far as they're concerned, I'm Mr. Reynoso. I'm a teacher. That's it. My personal life is my personal life. I'm the teacher. Leave it at that. And I also think it's unfair. I'd feel a little uncomfortable, I don't know. It's weird. I didn't want to talk to my kids too much about that. They've got enough worries. I don't want them to worry about me. But my coworkers knew. And I show up to work today, and there's a little note in my mailbox, and I open the note, and there's a gray ribbon. And it's from one of my coworkers, Katie. And it meant a lot to me. And I put the gray ribbon on. As soon as I saw her, I gave her the biggest hug. And I thanked her for that. Then I got a note from another one of my coworkers, Julie. It was just the sweetest note. She said, you got this. It looked like it was just typical teacher card, piece of construction paper folded over with stickers and colors and all that. And it was just the message she wrote was beautiful. As the day goes on, I don't really notice something that's happening. And a couple of my colleagues came into my classroom, Pam and Blair, and we're talking, and they're total science nerds. So it's been cool talking to them about this because they're all interested in the science of what's going to happen and the science of my procedure. And so I'm showing them pictures of my mask. I'm showing them pictures of what the tumor looks like. And we're talking about the type of radiation that's being used and how it's going to be done. And they're nerding out scientifically about this. And then I noticed they're both wearing gray. Pam's wearing a gray sweater and Blair's wearing a gray shirt. And then it hits me that a lot of my coworkers are wearing gray today. And if they weren't wearing gray, they were wearing a gray ribbon. I just thought that the ribbon was just something for me to wear. And as I walked around my work, I saw all of my coworkers, and they're all wearing gray. And I just lost it. I couldn't. even coworkers that maybe I butt heads with this week and this year were showing me support, and all the problems we had just seemed so trivial because this was real, and I had an opportunity just to hug and cry and be grateful. And today was my favorite day at my job. And then something really funny happened. One of my coworkers comes to see me, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, Dan. I didn't know that, I wasn't on this email chain or this text message chain to where, and I had no idea we were doing something." Oddly enough, she was wearing a gray dress. She didn't plan on it. It just happened. Two of my coworkers had no idea that my staff, not my staff, but my colleagues, my staff, my colleagues had planned to all wear gray. I had one of my colleagues, Todd, was wearing a gray tie, and another one of my colleagues, Dave, was wearing a gray sweatshirt. Another one of my colleagues, Zeke, was wearing a gray sweatshirt, and people were just wearing gray, wearing gray dresses, gray shirts, gray sweaters, and my two colleagues who didn't know, they just happened to put on a gray dress. And here's the thing about teachers. Sometimes one teacher will wear a black and white striped dress, and another teacher will just show up in a black and white striped dress, and another teacher will show up in a black and white striped shirt, and they don't plan on it, but it's kind of funny because it happens more often than you would think, where teachers show up matching. And so I really didn't even think about the fact that they were all wearing gray. And there's something very symbolic in that. And sometimes I overthink things, but I think this is important. The support that you're getting, and this is my message to everyone else who's going through this, the support you're getting may not be as obvious as a Facebook comment. It may not be as obvious as a ribbon in your mailbox. Because I didn't notice that support. I didn't notice that support system. They're all wearing gray. I didn't notice it. And then I had two of my colleagues who didn't realize that they were putting on a gray outfit and that their color choice was very symbolic. So sometimes you don't realize when people are supporting you, and sometimes people are supporting you and they don't even realize they're doing it. They're just being themselves. The kindergarten teacher and the second grade teacher they were just being themselves. They just happened to put on a gray outfit. Just being themselves, they supported me. Everyone else, the sneaky bastards, were organized and did it without me noticing. And I think I'm very blessed that I've got a strong support group of friends, but there might be some of you out there who don't feel that. Maybe you don't have 1,000 friends on Facebook. Maybe you're not socially media savvy. Maybe you feel alone. I believe there's people supporting you and you may not notice it. I believe there's people supporting you and they don't even realize they're supporting you just by being themselves. So, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into that. Before I go, I know this is a long video. We're already at about 14 minutes. I want to talk about the procedure. So, first of all, I want to thank Dr. Chen and all the nurses and technicians at the Kaiser radiology department in Roseville for doing such a great job and just being so kind and considerate and answering all my questions and just being the nicest people and keeping me at ease. They pretty much, they had my mask there. There's a table, there's a giant machine. I don't even want to look at the machine. I'm just like, oh, no, I don't want to see this. And I lay down. Since I'm going to be laying down for a while, I asked if it's okay if I take off my shoes, and they said, sure, that's fine. So I lay down. They asked me, do you want to listen to some music? And it's kind of funny. I wasn't like, I'm dressed like this, and they asked me, you want to listen to something really rocking? And I'm like, no, I want to listen to classical. I think tomorrow I'm going to listen to jazz, and then I don't know. We'll see what's in store for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Maybe on Friday we'll end with the Ramones. I'll bring them some stuff and say, hey, play this. So listen to classical music, and I lay down, and Dr. Chen comes in. They ask me a few questions. It's pretty interesting. Okay, what's your name? What's your patient ID number? Why are you here? Just want to make sure that everything's clear. They got to cover their bases, that I know why I'm there. And so then I lay down. There's the back portion of my mask. My head just kind of fits in. I kind of position myself, and then they put the face portion on. There's like a little piece that goes right in my mouth. And when you look online and you see different CyberKnife masks, you'll see ones with holes for the eyes and the mouth. Mine's just completely covered all the way through, so it looks like a hockey mask without eyes. And it clamps down. I can feel it just pressing my face down as they're clamping it down. So basically, it's just there to bolt my head to the table. But once again, I felt like I was wearing a wrestling mask, so I kind of felt like I was in my element. And then they just said, okay, we're going to take a couple x-rays. Doctor's going to come in. He's going to check everything out, make sure everything's lined up, and then we'll begin. Prior to this, they took my blood pressure, they took my temperature, and checked my oxygen levels, and then it began, and I didn't feel anything. That's the weird thing. Is like I didn't feel anything. I was expecting to feel heat. Expecting to hear something. The only thing that I felt was the table shifting every now and then, because they were saying they had to get me from 4 different arcs, and so I'd feel the table shift. I kept my eyes closed. They had a blanket over there. They had like this foam rubber ring that I could hold on to just to kind of keep myself balanced. And the entire process was about 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And then they said, okay, we're done. We'll see you tomorrow. I went out and they checked my blood pressure, oxygen, and temperature again. And actually, my blood pressure was better when I came back the second time around. I think just from laying down and listening to classical music, that helped. But I almost felt, hey Johnny, my cat. I felt weird. I'm just like, shouldn't there be more? I mean, I know the process. There was radiation being shot at my head, and it was a pretty nerve-wracking situation going into. And talking to my friend online, Colleen, she had to, really, I think she had to take something to kind of help relax her. But now that I know that it's okay, I know what to expect on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday when I go in. I think it's going to be okay. But I think the biggest lesson that I learned today was about support. Not so much about the procedure. I mean, yeah, I know what to expect now. I know what to expect as far as the procedure is concerned. I know what to expect as far as MRIs are concerned now, which I'll have to do for the rest of my life, pretty much, I feel. But I think the biggest lesson I learned today was about support. And to all of my fellow brain tumor fighters out there, sometimes you may not notice the support. And sometimes your supporters may not realize they're doing that as well. So just keep your eyes open, because we're out there. Okay. Good luck to everyone. I'll probably check in again tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be another 20-minute episode, but thank you to each and every one of you who's reached out to me and just offered your support. It really got me through today. I definitely think all the support I got from friends online and my friends in person, and most importantly, my biggest supporter, my wife, that got me through today. So thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you, and I hope to be there for you as much as you've been there for me. Take care, everyone. Talk to you soon.